It's the week of love, as Valentine's Day is this Friday, and as part of our Motivational Monday series, award-winning author Stacy Hawkins Adams is here to talk about the topic, May the love of your life be the love of your life. We welcome you back to Virginia this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you said this to me, may the love of your life be the love of your life, and I really had to think about, what all does that mean? That can mean a lot.
Yeah, you know, a friend shared that phrase with me at the end of the year as part of her New Year's resolution. She said, I'm going to go into the year making the love of my life be the love of my life. And I had to pause and think about it too. But I thought that was an ideal sort of phrasing and message to share this week as we think about all the people around us that we love, who will be our Valentines, who will we share with. We often pour into our children, our siblings, our parents, maybe a spouse, maybe even our pets. Think about the way you love those who you hold dearest. Do we do that for ourselves?
So making yourself your Valentine, at least one of your Valentines. Now, how would you recommend doing that, especially a week where we end up in the hustle and bustle of making Valentines, ordering flowers, doing all kinds of things? What sort of self-love, being your own Valentine, what should we be doing this week?
I think the most important thing is to listen to yourself and ask yourself, what do I want in this moment? What do I need in this moment? Sometimes, because of the hustle and bustle, you need to just simply pause, take a deep breath, and center yourself and say, what's the next thing I need to do, instead of thinking about that long to-do list. Sometimes after a busy day, one of the things I do every night is I fix myself a cup of hot decaf tea, and I never finish it. I literally take 2 or 3 sips. But years ago, when I had young children, I was a parenting columnist for the local newspaper, and I interviewed a parenting expert, and she was saying, you know, how you should self-care as a parent. After you put the kids to bed, do something for yourself. And so I mentioned to her, I fixed this cup of tea, I never finish it. And she said, well, how much does the tea bag cost? Well, a box of tea, 40 tea bags, probably $4 or $5. So 40 to 50 cents a night on yourself is worth it. So what are those simple things you can do to just make yourself feel better, settle yourself? Maybe if you love fresh flowers. I recently took a flower making class, and it was so relaxing. So I still have those fresh flowers. Or buy yourself flowers, whatever something simple is to just make yourself smile.
Just a little bit of love, a little bit of joy added to your day. One of the things I've been trying to do is identify areas that would help me make my life a little bit easier. Yes. What can I do that, you know, maybe it's a small little purchase that you can add something. So I added a clock to my vanity. It's usually across the room, but I said it would make me a little bit more efficient if I bought myself a little clock. And it felt silly, but it makes such a big difference. So that's what I've been trying to do, my self-love. Might not be every day, but adding something that makes your life a little bit easier, a little bit better.
Right, and making it easier does make you feel better. And it could be as simple as deciding, you know, what is my word for the week? Sometimes we have a word for the year. What's my word for the week? What's my word for the day that's going to be my go-to word when something goes awry, or if I'm, you know, having a challenging moment, or if I need to make a choice? What's that pro and con word that's going to help me through that season as well?
And what's going to center you?
Right.
Yeah, keeping that in mind, and almost having a plan for when things don't go according to plan.
Right.
That, hey, I'm going to take a moment, say this word, and be ready to tackle the next task ahead.
Exactly, and also be willing to say no, finding the courage to say no, because sometimes if we can say no to the things that we really don't have to do or that we really don't want to do, it leaves space for the yeses, the bigger and better yeses to come.
Absolutely. The spirit of busyness is all over this month. I think February feels a lot busier to me than it used to feel, especially with the winter. We're not going out and, you know, playing outside, but we're doing other things that are causing us to feel that spirit of busyness. And in some ways, it keeps you from doing the big thing that's important because you get caught up in the little things.
Right, right. And does busyness feed your purpose? So if you think about what is my goal for the day, what's my goal for the week, what's my long-term purpose? Am I achieving things that align with that in the busyness? And if not, those are the areas where you either say, not now, not ever, but not now doesn't always mean not ever. Sometimes life happens in seasons, so the things you can't tackle now, you set those aside for later so you can focus on what matters most and what makes you feel loved and cherished. Because the more your cup is full, then that overflow is what blesses other people.
It reminds me of something someone told me earlier this week, that we're all on a journey, a certain type of journey. And so it takes us some time to get to maybe what we think we should be doing or what other people think we should be doing. But every time you do, you get better at it. And spend a little bit of time doing that and thinking about how can I improve, but knowing you're not going to be there today. So saying no a little bit, sewing into what your true purpose is will help you along the way.
Right. And remember to enjoy the journey. A lot of times we think it's about the destination. When I achieve this goal, when I get to that place, enjoy the journey along the way. There's so many lessons and great things that can happen on the way there, and you grow as a person. So that's part of the joy as well.
And taking inventory of all the things that have happened, that you have achieved this year, and loving yourself a little bit for that. Treating yourself this week amongst all the treats you'll give to everyone else.
Absolutely.
I love that. Well, you always give us something to think about. I've got to figure out what my word for the week is going to be. So maybe we can spend some time during the commercial break figuring that out so we can recenter ourselves all week long. Thank you always for coming in.
Thank you.
Stacy offers weekly Motivational Monday emails, and if you're interested in subscribing, you can visit StacyHawkinsAdams.com.